Liam, a very eventful evening, and in the end you end up winning 3-2. You must be delighted with the result, but also the reaction of the players after Saturday, but also at times in the game when it got a bit tough.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I thought we started really well. I thought we looked really comfortable, dominating the game, should have scored again. And then what happens. You know, my slant on it was fairly simple. Russell Benjamin gets a head injury in the middle of the pitch, down in the Hereford end. The referee runs past him, to be fair to the linesman. The linesman's buzzing him to tell him it's a head injury. He's carried on. Now, I actually think the referee is actually one of the best referees. I think he's okay. He's not seen him, Russell. I don't know what happened then. He's had a shot. Charlie should save the shot. That's a fact. And then it's been brought back and been disallowed for a handball. If it would have been Hereford, I'd have been raging. But I wasn't happy myself. You always go back to the first call. The game should stop for the head injury, and it didn't. But there was about 3 or 4 head injuries today, and all the others did stop, but that one particular moment didn't, and it ended up for 20 minutes. Then we completely lost it. In the words of referees, don't level things up, but in theory they actually do. And to me, he's evened that up. He's given a pen which was easily outside the box. And they've scored, and it's just so coincidental. A few minutes after what had happened. Second half, we've come out. Game was flat. I actually thought we were struggling to get into the game. I thought the game was very stop-start. There was lots of fouls. There's lots of yellow cards. There was lots of next to nothing, but not a lot of good football. And then David Morgan produces a bit of magic, and what a stunning strike. Great play by Connor, who was lively all game. Was rolled it back, but to put it in from where he did with his left foot, it's a great strike. Obviously Devan's added another one in when he's come on a sub, another, you know, he's direct. That's all I say to him all the time, be direct. And as I said, if he runs at people like that, you know, he would get results like he did. Again, they've had a penalty. Zen's made a mistake. Charlie's tried to get Zen out of trouble. He's given the pen, no complaints on the pen. Great save. Then they've scored a sloppy goal, and you know. But it was an eerie game. The crowd was poor. There was 1 or 2 really poor shouts behind me regarding, you know, having a dig at. One was having a pop at Charlie. I said, but you know, people got to remember what we are. I said I stood by Dan for long spells last season when he wasn't great, especially at the start. He did come through to have a great season. I said it's Charlie's first mistake and people are jumping all over him. I just think it's wrong. I said one thing, the Southport crowd, they always get behind the youngsters and really encourage them. You look at Connor, I said we need to show that. We need to show that because we need to grow players, and that's where we are as a football club. We need to develop. So shouts like that are poor, but you know, we've actually got over the line. And I've just checked, and we're actually in the playoff positions. So we've actually just won. What is that? 4 out the last 5. Or I know we've had a really good run. So strange that we've got such a poor crowd. Strange that there seems to be really negative and eerie round here tonight. But not strange that the players managed to drag a result out and get us over the line. No, we all need to learn, and we all need to go to Bradford. Bradford Park Avenue aren't the Bradford Park Avenue 2 weeks ago. Mark Bauer knows what he's doing. You know, he's a good manager. He's a good fella. He's come in, and he's brought people in who know the level. They beat Hereford last time out. Oh no, sorry, they lost on Saturday to Gloucester, but they beat Hereford the last home game. It's never really been a lucky hunting ground, Bradford Park Avenue. I think it's the first time we ever got a point last year. So, you know, we've got to go there and work extremely hard. And on the other side, we've got to send my best wishes to Regan. I hope he's all right. Hopefully, it's not as serious as it first looked. He was smiling a bit before he went off to hospital for an X-ray. But I think that's the balance of the day.
It's a young squad, and sometimes with a young squad's confidence is essential and important, but also there was a contrast in the sense that Hereford are quite an old and experienced squad. Your thoughts just on the performance, and just keep going, and the importance of giving youth a chance?
I think we show great when inexperience is good, when we've actually gone and scored the goals, because, you know, really from the distance the strikes were hit, we could have actually laid it off, probably in theory should have laid it up, but we haven't have ended up in the net. That shows when inexperience is really effective. But then when we should kill the game, there was a really bad challenge on Ryan Astl's right in front of in the dugout. I thought he'd already been booked for kicking the ball in Charlie's head, but Doyley's head, but he didn't. But when he lunged in, not one of our players went to actually remonstrate with him, with the referee. Now every time one of ours went down, it was like a Hereford melee, and that's experience, and but we need to get that experience, good experience into the team to see the games off. We've given a sloppy goal away with a few minutes to make it a nervy last 5 minutes in a game which we shouldn't be nervy. And
in terms of injuries now, obviously Marcus Wood made a debut today, that's a new addition, but George Newell, he's picked up an injury, Regan Ogle's gone down, Dean Winnard was out the other day. How are we in terms of numbers and squad and looking at the squad as a whole?
Well, Andy Parry's waiting to get a screw removed from his knee, which hopefully is not a major issue. It's just something's come loose in his knee. He doesn't need the screw in his knee so he can take it out, so we're waiting on that. Dean has got some muscular issue. Rowell has got a dead leg just above his knee and he can't bend. He'll be alright for Saturday. George has picked up a bad one, so he's going to be out for 8 to 10 weeks. Regan looks like he's picked up a bad one tonight, so I can't really say. But in terms of when I was looking on where we are on the bench, Andy Paddy's come on, obviously. Then Kieran Glynn was about to come on, and then we conceded. Devan come on so it just leaves us Morgan Thompson-Smith and Dan Amford, and no one else is available. So we are down to the bare bones, which is just one of them things. Morgan Thompson-Smith hasn't played for a good while. He's over his injury, but he hasn't had an opportunity. Brad gives us good shape, so it wasn't the type of game where he could have got him on tonight. So we do need to look. Obviously things are tight financially, so we probably have to generate a little bit. So it might be a case that we might have to sacrifice someone to actually let someone else to possibly bring in two as a replacement for one. But it's easy said than done.
Thank you very much, Liam. Thank you.